Welcome back to Cynical Velocity Online Racing. We are here for round 6 of Season 2. We are here for the British Grand Prix, sponsored by Rogue Energy. In the commentary box you have myself as always, SV Gorilla, and not Matt Silver this time, as you can see on the screen he is racing, but we do indeed have SV One Shot back. Good evening.
Evening.
So obviously British Grand Prix, home to a lot of these drivers. I think 90% of the drivers, as Josh left the session.
Already?
His connection is terrible, so that doesn't surprise me. Obviously Despairs does indeed have a qualifying ban, and Daleks is serving a 1 race ban for his incidents from last week. But here we go, we are here for qualifying 1. Who do you feel like is going to be knocked out of this session?
I think they're all going to go for it now, because it's only one.
They'll still have to do qualifying. Because Despairs is technically... he hasn't crashed out. He'll technically... Everyone would have to do a lap. Because at the moment Despairs is actually technically sitting second, so everyone would have to do at least 1 lap. But let's go through helmets, see if anyone's got a special helmet for today, because obviously it is the British Grand Prix. Lucas Lade, I think, has changed his helmet.
Yeah, he's wearing a pink and white one.
I believe that is due to our mum's birthday today, so it's nice to see. We've got drivers actually coming out. We might potentially see some rain, but I probably would have seen a lot of drivers go onto the softs if that was the case. But who we got out on track first? We have a Toro Rosso, that would be Sergeant Milk, fighting for that Red Bull seat from Richard and SV Custard. Obviously had a pretty decent result last week after all the penalties were added up. He did indeed get a 3rd place there, so he's I know he is very happy after that result. So it could be interesting. Flat out, I think. Why is he not going up in his errs? I have no idea. But we've got Tony.
That reminded me, actually.
Well.
You just reminded me there.
He's not using any of his errs, so I'm guessing it's kind of a banker lap. Who else we got? We've got the Toro Rosso. Not Toro Rosso, that's a Southern Ping. I don't know who else is actually... Got Ramsey on a lap who's invalidated. We've got Lucas Aid on a lap as well, going through turn 2 and turn 3 now. It does have a Williams just behind him of SV Fridays, obviously a new driver we have to speak about. Well, he's not a new member of SV, but he's the latest Cynical Velocity driver to join SVOR. So that kind of totals it up to a fair few. Actually, let's go through all the SV drivers. Actually, let's put on Sergeant Milk first. He's about to finish his lap. Obviously, we do have SV Richard, SV Pagoo, SV Tony, Matt Silver, SV Bradford, SV Friday, SV Custard. Gangster Owl is technically a part of SV, just doesn't really talk that much. And then we have Lucas Aid and Ramsey. And Sergeant Milk round the final corner does a 1:33.3. Not a bad lap.
He is on a hard.
He's starting a lap. We've got Ramsey. He has invalidated his lap, so he will let the Red Bull of SV Custard through. And a lot of yellow flags going on right now. Bond's round a couple of corners now. A massive train of cars behind them. And SV Custard goes even quicker. Then we'll have Fridays and Richard posting in laps, and Fridays goes quicker for 1:27.7. That's not a bad lap. SV Pagoo goes 2nd place. Not a bad lap from himself. And then we have Gangster Owl putting himself into 4th place as well. SV Tony running up very wide there, but still keeping his lap. AMS Darren, the winner of last week, We've got Jota now on a lap. We've got everyone out on track so far, apart from the spares who obviously is serving that quali ban. We've got Summon Ping about to go through Maggots and Beckett's now. We've got anyone.
And down just invalidated.
MS down. Yeah, just noticed that. So he will go again. He did a 1:27.4, which would have put him in P1. SV Tony coming around the final couple of corners himself now. Let's see where he can place that Alfa Romeo. That goes P7. Sergeant Milk comes into the pits respectively. We've got Summon Ping coming through the last couple of corners now. Jota is just starting his lap. We have a Williams coming into the pits.
Darren just invalidated
around
again.
the final corner. Goes P7 as well. Darren is invalidated as you just said. We've got Bradford and Ramsey. Ramsey is about to come over the finishing line to set his first, I would say, a banker lap. Hopefully this could put him up fairly high. Here he goes. It goes P4. That's not a bad lap there. Being a fair few drivers on that soft tyre. We have AMS Darren. That's not Darren. Where's the Gangster Owl coming around the final corner. Let's see if he improves. He doesn't. But he'll probably go again. AMS Darren still not able to set a lap. Jota coming through Maggots and Beckett's now.
And Brad just completely missed his braking zone.
Does put himself off into P2. So obviously Pagoo leading the championship after Jota's DNF last week. Jota has actually invalidated his lap, so I would reckon he'll be going again. Darren starting another lap here as well. And good evening, guys. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe with Twitch Prime. We have recently been affiliated with Twitch. I want to say thank you to everyone that has followed us and helped us get to that goal. Obviously we are here for round 6. Still got a fair few rounds to go. We've got obviously a break week next week, so there won't be any action from SVOR. Obviously no press conference either until obviously the following Sunday.
Still got VVR to do though, haven't we?
Yeah, VVR obviously another league that we all kind of do. Probably 90% of this league here. Bradford, Pagoo, Custard, Lucas Aid, Richard. Tony did do a few rounds and then left to do AOR, but I believe he will be back next season. Sergeant Milk Despairs, Matt Silver, all part of VVR. Talking of Matt Silver, he's out on track in his new Williams car, obviously.
And Josh just spun it in sector 3.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Oh, yes, he has. Obviously, Matt Silver and AMS Darren putting the quickest lap of the session so far. Obviously, talking about Matt Silver, obviously was partnering the new driver at SV Fridays. We have seen Matt Silver, previously known as Sinistro before. Has decided that he wanted to take a step back into the race car, which obviously I have no problem with. Obviously the more drivers that we have, the better. So obviously no one will be going out of the session apart from Despairs unless someone crashes. It's fairly
Or
hard
doesn't
to
set a lap.
Yeah, obviously we're only waiting for 2 drivers to set a lap, and Jota obviously in the pits
Invalidated.
currently.
Being invalidated and
Lucas Aid on his way back out in that Mercedes. Obviously his teammate's not here tonight, unfortunately. It's going to get out just behind the Red Bull there. And
did he retire? Yeah, he retired.
His lap now. Elias. Oh, Ramsey's retired.
In the pits.
He obviously everyone is safe, so. But I mean, it's good to get some more practice in if you haven't done too much running.
Why Daleks joined? Talk about Tokyo drift around that corner, Matt.
I'm putting the party on invite only. Obviously drivers know that they can retire now. The only ones that can't really is Matt Silver and Jota. Obviously they do have to put it, like, even if it's the slowest lap of all time, it doesn't really matter. Matt Silver obviously going round into the fairly new pit complex. It's been around for a few years now. I think since 2010, I believe. So it would have been 20 years this year, but obviously with the season.
Matt Silver goes for P7.
Yeah, just waiting on Jota now. We do have SV Lucasane and Richard out on track at the moment on their outlaps. I believe Lucasane is about to start his lap. He is indeed. Richard not too far behind him, so going to have to be careful if Lucasane does spin, but obviously Lucasade missing out on the podium last season, sorry. Not by much though. He's very close to picking up a penalty, a podium, until he spun on the very last lap, which kind of gave Richard, the man we're watching right now, a podium. So he'll be looking to do that again. A lot of drivers now retiring because they know they've gone through. Right on board with Lucasade. DRS wide open. Obviously only 2 DRS zones now. There was 3. There was an extra one on the pit straight, but they removed it due to, I think, health and safety. Because of the turn 1 corner where you basically go flat out. It's looking like a decent lap from Lucasade here. Should push him up a few places. Around the final
P5.
corner, 5th place, then Richard. Around the final corner, only P9, but obviously will make it through. Jota coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. Obviously this is where he had his spin a few minutes ago. He's looking like he will be able to get through on these tyres. And Jota now coming round the final corner. He won! Oh, that's a nice lap. And there we have it. That's pretty much qualifying. Richard's not on a lap. Lucasade isn't on a lap. MS Darren's about to start one here. Also got thanks to Owl on an outlap right now. Coming up into the final couple of corners now. Switch AMS Darren's lap going into turn 2. Now turn 3, obviously turn 2, 3 and 4.
Stop giving me that camera angle game. Give me the one.
And their camera angles are pretty terrible.
Kept giving me the one at the fucking left rear.
Hang on.
I thought Darren lost that then, Jesus.
Here comes Darren round into the final couple of quarters now. His late as he can into that corner. Round the second to last now and into the final corner now. Let's see if he can beat that time, and he does with a 1:27.1. And against the out, sensitive going through that corner. Feel like he could go a little bit quicker. Probably break a little bit later than that there. Oh, he spun. It's going to be actually invalidate. What the hell? Seems to be a bit of a lack of grip out there. We've got SV Bradford, Lucas Aid come into the pits. SV Bradford on an out lap right now. He's doing his 8th gear lap. Always nice to see. Got Sergeant Monk and AMS Darren on track very closely. Lucas Aid hasn't been tired. Oh, it is starting to rain actually. Pretty sure. I just saw some rain come down there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's starting to rain in qualifying, so we potentially could see.
I think that's why we saw
weather.
every driver out on track. It could be intermediates for Q2 and 3.
Potentially. Sergeant Milk about to start his lapper now. He's got one of the Red Bull drivers, the SV Cluster, just behind him as well. See if Sergeant Milk can put himself up a little bit further than where he is. I wouldn't say it's too bad out there. Soft tyres look to be coping with it quite well. Sorry guys if you can hear my fan, it's quite hot in my room. Joy has set himself as retired in the pits. And Sergeant Milk looking to improve on his lap. SV Custard also, and Matt Silver back out on track as well on the hards. People that are doing laps now would want to be a little bit careful when doing the laps. They don't want to push too hard and then find themselves in the barrier. Sergeant Milk clipping the grass there. Up by 3 seconds, so it's looking like a decent lap so far. See what kind of time Sergeant Milk can do. Probably the most impressive race from last week. Picked up the pieces where needed, and Sergeant Milk round the final corner. Puts himself up into P7. Let's see where Custard comes into the pits. Matt Silver goes on for another lap here. And SV Bradford, I think he completed this time. I'm not sure if he actually went quicker. But SV Richard down on his time, so I wouldn't really waste any more time. I would come straight to the pitch, which he is indeed. Just waiting for SV Bradford to come round, and Sergeant Milk, who's actually finished qualifying already. So obviously only one person out in qualifying, which is obviously Despairs. Obviously he is serving his quali ban. Obviously gets to start on the fresher tyres, so
He's just invalidated. Just ran out of pit of fucking field just before the pit lane.
I mean, we can screenshot the results, but I mean, it's not really going to make all too much difference. Obviously, going through into Obviously, only one person out of qualifying.
Would help if my mic was on, wouldn't it?
Would be helpful.
Oh, great.
Oh, there we go, Sinistro lagging out like per usual.
Oh, great. Now his car's not on the grid.
Oh, for fuck's sake. There may slightly be a restart then.
And lovely.
What?
You send me the invite back, please. I've got the fucking sound glitch.
It would have just gone by
It literally
the next session.
as I quit.
There you go.
It literally came back as I quit. What the fuck?
There we go. Qualifying 2. We have the Red Bull of SV Custard. It's going to be starting the first lap, I think. Yep. Oh, I just packed Luis. Sorry. Just saw Allison.
I gotta go for Pogger's car. Boy, guess why?
You probably, I'm going to go with the glitch.
There we go, stop now. Yeah, the rope grit.
Ah,
Bloody hell,
then.
Puggy.
Elias is on softs. That's bold. I don't think he's made the right decision there, but Custard on a lap here. Don't think matters at lap is now. Looking the curve there. The grass, sorry.
There we go.
That better.
No,
Too
DRS
Custard.
just got disabled.
Well, I'm just going around the final corner now. Obviously, we'll set the fastest lap so far. Oh, Jota is back in the lobby.
And oh my god, Bond.
Who's missing then?
Matt.
Oh. Oh yeah, because he dropped out
Lagged out.
during the session, didn't he?
Yeah.
Elias did a 143.4 on soft, and now he's spun. Not the greatest of all starts for him. Sergeant Milk puts himself into P5. SV Groove starting his lap now. Tony ran the final corner. Validated. SV Bradford. Toro Rosso off there, which will be SV Fridays coming into the pits. Not... Oh, Tony spins. Lucky for him, he's going to be crashing out. SV Bradford round the final corner now.
He just drifted it round that corner.
And gets put out of the way of Lucas Aid. Summon Ping going round to finish his lap. P3, not a bad lap from him. Lucas Aid, I think is SV Richard round the final corner. And then we have Sergeant just behind him. That would be Bonge. Both Red Bulls up into the top 10, but obviously we're still waiting for those big names. We've got Lucas Aid coming around the final corner now. Only P7. Oh, we've got Custard and Sergeant Milk off. At kind of similar places there. Oh, Sergeant Milk is at the end of his lap. Very odd spin for SV Custer, who now just drops out of the drop zone, and we're waiting for SV Tony and Fridays to set it laps. I think Tony might be going again, he is indeed. Didn't pick up any damage. So Richard on the cusp, loose Custard will probably want to get through. All of them are around 4 seconds off. But let's see, Bradford about to finish another lap here. Very slow lap. Got Pagoo onto the back of Custard here. I don't think Pagoo is on a lap though. And Custard going up very, very wide. Oh, we had a bit of a twitch there. Southern Ping about to cross the line. Oh, we got a car off. That's Lucas Aid. Southern Ping moves up into P4. Oh, and Lucas Aid's been disqualified. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that's quite funny. So SV Lucas Aid already out of qualifying. Matt Silver obviously not in qualifying either. I don't think he'll be able to make it back in time though. I don't know if he's actually joined back or not. I don't actually remember. Let me have a look. Well, he's not online. I don't think. No, Sinistra's not online. So gone off. Actually, Friday's on a lap now. Actually, we've got Tony about to complete a lap. Actually, Bradford goes.
He is online.
And Tony ran the final corner. Only P12. Stays P12, sorry.
He's validated, obviously.
When doesn't he? Now we got anyone on that? Darren on the lap. Got SV Friday's about to finish his lap. Can he push Costa down? He does indeed. That puts Richard on the back foot with 4.5 minutes to go.
Tony finally starts up.
Elias is spun on his last lap there. Tony put himself under P7. So that pushes Richard down. So this could be interesting to see who's going to be knocked out here. Ramsey is on his way back out now. Going to the Owl, finishing a lap there in P6. AMS Darren, I think, has just gone even quicker there. This is up to P4. Need a big improvement here to push himself up. I have faith in him though. Obviously, it's not the end of the race. Wherever you qualify, still a long race to go. He's currently 4/10 up in the first sector. Friday is coming around the final corner. Slow lap, starting its fast lap now. SV Tony, I reckon he's probably trying to keep himself safe. SV Richard.
He's run out of fuel.
Very wide there. Tony.
Yeah.
SV Richard still 4/10 up in the second sector. Push him up. I don't think that's enough to get through, you know. Going round into the final crop of the corners now. Oh, Bond is off! Oh, that's a massive crash. And that's his qualifying over. SV Richard coming around the final corner now, 1.2 seconds up on his time. Let's see if he can push himself up. He goes up into P8. And I think Tony, that might be his qualifying over. Ramsey starting a lap now.
I think Bonji's retired on track, by the way.
Oh, that's very naughty. Oh, Bonji. Well, guess who's getting a penalty?
What?
Guess who's going to be picking up a penalty? Sweet Tony. Fairly safe for Elias. I want to put a decent lap here. 2.9 seconds up on his time, so that should easily put him through. Tony, I think, may have seen himself out here. Elias coming into the final section now. Around the final corner he comes, and let's see what he can place that Renault. And he's round the final corner, and he goes P3. Yeah, he's definitely safe there. And Ramsey, can he knock his teammate out here? I didn't see what his time was there. Sergeant Milk on a lap now, on an out lap, sorry. Should be able to get back in time. Ramsey, who's just retired there. I don't know, there's a yellow flag. SV Ramsey round the final corner now. Let's see if he can place that Alfa Romeo back into the top 10. He does. P8, he knocks his teammate out. And SV Richard on another quick lap here. Let's see if he can push himself up a little bit further. He improves only just though. He does have enough time to go again, which I think he is doing. But Sergeant Milk starting his lap now with 8 seconds to go. He will be the final car to set a lap. SV Fridays, I don't think he's on a lap. Southern Ping is on a lap here actually. Coming into the final
Elias has
section
run out of
now.
fuel.
He's made it through anyway. He's not going to really bothered about that. And Southern Ping round the final corner. Definitely improves, pushes himself up to P4 there. And SV Fridays does indeed come into the pits. Who are we watching? We're watching Sergeant Milk. Let's see if he can get himself out of Q2 in the Toro Rosso. Definitely kind of showing up the Red Bull drivers here, apart from Richard, who's still just about made it through, but obviously Sergeant Milk is on a lap here, and could potentially see Sergeant Milk put himself into the top 10. We do have Ramsey still out on track, but I don't think he's going to improve here. Got a yellow flag. Oh, that's just for the Renault of Elias, who's gone completely off track there. And Sergeant Milk coming into the final sector now. Let's see if he can push himself up. Still no sector, and Matt Silver has left the session again. Could potentially see a restart here. And Sergeant Milk round the final corner. Let's see if he can push SV Richard down. He's coming around the final corner now, and I think he has. He does indeed knock Richard out. And both Red Bulls are out of qualifying.
He's just completely missed the pit lane.
Who has? Oh, Elias.
Elias.
It'll take longer actually in the pit lane. So you might as well just cut the corner. There you go. And there you have it. The top 10 going at it for pole position. We will just see the confirmation very, very soon. There you have it. SV Bradford, Jota, Elias, Southern Ping, SV Fridays, SV Bagu, AMS Down, Sergeant Mill, SV Ramsey and Gangster Owl all making it through for the battle for pole position. Out of qualifying we have SV Richard, SV Tony, SV Custard and SV Lucasade not even able to set a lap, but then unfortunately got disqualified. So there we have the top 10 going at it for pole. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like because it's not that wet outside. So could potentially see maybe inters maybe to rise near the end, potentially. All depends on how the weather's going to treat us. No, we do indeed still have intermediate weather. Obviously that can change over time. So do you feel it's going to put it on pole position tonight, Jack? Jack!
Who do you think?
Unmute your mouth. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'm going to guess Brad, because obviously he's
Or
very
Poggers?
Or Poggers. Can't beat the old Poggers. It'll be very interesting to see what drivers can do in this session. SVOR, first driver to be setting a lap here, right on board. All drivers currently out on the track. There'll definitely be a fight between the Ferraris here for pole position. I think the only kind of driver that can probably bring a fight to them is probably the likes of Darren and potentially Jota. But Pagoo coming round to finish his lap off here, let's see what kind of time he can do. It's going to be at 1:39.2. We've got Sergeant Milk now coming around the final corner. It's going to be at 1:42, and Jota goes even quicker there with a 1:38.9. Everybody goes P3. Elias and Bradford's coming into the pits. Not very happy on those tyres. Elias going around the final corner now. Let's see what time he can put. It's P2 for the Renault driver. Jota looking to implement his status as one of the best drivers here. We've got Southern Ping coming around the final corner now. Goes P5, AMS Darren now. Only P7, that was a very quick lap for him.
I think he had a
P6.
dash to Al's invalidated. He's invalidated.
So he has. They didn't show red on my screen for some reason. Yellow flag.
Southern
I
Ping.
believe that might be Sergeant Milk.
That was Southern Ping.
Southern. Oh, he spin, did he?
Yeah. By the looks of it.
That would explain it.
And Pagoo's just invalidated.
How do you invalidate there? Unless did he run out wide, I'm guessing.
He ran out wide at a turn.
So we will be going again. 6 minutes to go in this session. And Fridays. Only a little bit slower than his best time. We have AMS now. AMS Darren. Oh, very twitchy around the final corner. Does improve slightly though. Against the owl. Finally on a lap here. goes up to P6. Ramsey did indeed improve, but doesn't push him in any further. But Paguri on a lap, 7 ping.
Just set a fastest tech. He just set a
7.
fastest sector 2.
I'm not getting that on my stream for some reason. Here comes Paguri with 4 minutes remaining. Well, 5 minutes remaining, really. Around the final quarter should be provisional pole position, and it is by over 5/10 there. It's a lovely lap from Paguri. Not had the best of all seasons so far, but he's doing a very solid job. Still waiting for his teammate to actually settle up. SV Ramsey on another lap here, and we've got SV Fridays coming to across the line. We'll be going again by the looks of things. We'll be going to the pits, so will, I believe, Gangster. Ow, but it looks like he might be on a lap here. Can't really tell. 7 ping on a lap as well. 3 and a bit minutes to go. Ramsey comes into the pits. So Ping going around the final four corners now. Let's see if he can push himself up. He does, I believe. Up into P5. I've got 3 cars on a lap, but I believe they're all going to be coming in. Set a new pair of intermediates on.
Fridays is already invalidated.
Not coming into the pit, so that's bold. Unless there's no intermediates left, I suppose, so might as well keep going. Simon Ping, I believe, has run off fuel here. So SV Bradford through. Let's I believe Sergeant Milk is going to want to. That's initially just rejoining there.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see what Sergeant Milk can do, but obviously we'll ride on board with Bradford soon as he will technically be the first driver to settle up.
Ugh.
So obviously Bradford on a lap now. Let's see what time he can do. He hasn't set a lap time yet. Less
He's
than
just
a
set a
minute to
purple
go
centre
in
one.
the session. SV Friday's still going around the track. For some reason. SV Ramsey starting his lap now. Oh, a little bit of a twitch there from Bradford. Remember, if you are a Prime subscriber, you can obviously subscribe with Twitch Prime right now, or you can subscribe
He's just set a
on your
purple
own.
sector 2 as well now.
It's looking like a very good lap from SV Bradford here. Can he take pole position away from Bagoo? Bagoo obviously not out on track, so he won't be able to do much if Bradford is to get pole position here, but he's going around the final corner now, and this should be pole position. And
And
it
it
is with a
is.
1:38.1. And Jota's also on the lap, Elias also on the lap as well. Sergeant Milk moves himself up into P6. SV Ramsey obviously on a lap. AMS Darren crossing the line. Oh no, he's not crossing the line. I mean, he would be crossing the line if it was the old toner. We've got Elias coming into the final couple of corners now. Let's see if he's able to push himself up further than P4. He doesn't. He'll stay P4. SV Friday's coming around the final corner now. It's just apparently improving. P3 from the new, from the debut, for the Williams, and AMS Darren on a lap. Aranzi around the final corner moves himself up into P8. Darren will sort of want a decent lap
Jota
here.
just set a purple
Up by
sector 2.
6 tenths. Here comes Darren round the final corner now.
How was that
Let's
not in
see
the
if he's able to-
validation game?
Only P5 for Darren. And as Jota coming around the final corner himself. Can he now pole position? No, he doesn't. He has 4th place though. And a quick confirmation of qualifying. We have SV Bradford on pole position. Can he take his first win of SVOR with his teammate SV Bagoo in 2nd place? SV Fridays in P3, Jota in P4, Amos Darren in P5, Elias P6, Sergeant Milk in P7, Summon Ping in P8, and Ramsey in P9, and lastly we have Gangster Owl in P10 there. Oh, this is shaping up to be a very decent race here. Bradford obviously looking to get his first win, which would be probably huge for him, because he said that if he ever actually wins a race, he will finally change his profile picture on Twitter. Oh, Matt is here, so he will be racing. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4,
And
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Daleks is on track, by the way.
How? Oh, what is he doing?
Oh, it says he's on track, but he's not.
I just told him to leave the session, so... It's not even in the session, by the way.
I think he was just watching, to be fair.
Yeah. Got a confirmation that we will be setting off in 3 minutes time. That gives me enough time to grab my Baffy tin. so I can roll a fag. That's if I can find the rest of the shit. Wherever the fuck that is. That's it. So just before we set off for the formation lap, I will run you through the qualifying order. We've got SV Bradford, SV Blue, Fridays, Angel all starting on the mediums. We have AMS and Elias, AMS down and Elias starting on the softs. Sergeant Mill opting for the mediums in 7th. Southern Ping, SV Ramsey, Gangster Out and Richard all opting for the soft compound tyres from 8th to 11th. And then SV Tony, Custard, Lucas Aids opting for the mediums in 12th, 13th and 14th, and Despairs